Hi, I'm Louise, and I'd like to introduce myself and talk about how I position myself working with deaf and hard of hearing communities. I work as a psychologist and an educator, and most of my work is with deaf and hard of hearing people. I work with their families, in their communities, at schools, and in the wider support systems. So that means I'm also working with hearing people. But I've had other jobs. I've worked as an academic and a lecturer, as a registered nurse, and when I was much younger, I worked in bars and cafes like a lot of young people do. I've played in bands, sung in choirs, and now I spend my spare time with my hands in clay. It's easy to take for granted the privilege of having a job, of having access to study and gaining qualifications. Having opportunities to leave jobs and try out different hobbies is also a real privilege. I'm a hearing person, and I recognise that much of my experience might have been very different if I'd been born in different circumstances. Like a lot of people, I have a number of different privileges based on where and how I was born and on who my parents are. And like a lot of people, I have some marginalisations as well. But understanding my hearing privilege is what anchors my work with macro impact consulting. About 20 years ago, I was invited to do some work in the deaf and hard of hearing community. And even though I had friends who worked as interpreters and a couple of people who were close to me who were deaf, I quickly realised that I knew nothing. And most of the hearing world also knew nothing. I ended up doing a PhD asking deaf people, what is it that they want from hearing people so that we can be culturally affirming? Right from the start, my research positioned me as a learner, privileging the experiences of deaf people and promoting their views. My aim is to be an ally. As an ally, I'm not here to fix things or provide answers for deaf people. I'm not offering expertise on deafness. My aim is to learn and to share what I've learned so that hearing people can use their privilege to remove some of the barriers faced by deaf people. Being an ally means sometimes being uncomfortable. It means listening to someone explain to me that I've been insensitive or offensive. It means being open to my continuing education. And for me, the word ally is a bit like the word friend. I like to think that strong friendships can have uncomfortable but honest and helpful conversations. I'm very grateful to be working with Sigrid, and I want to acknowledge that she is the cultural lead for our work at Macro. Her lived experience, her knowledge, her values and beliefs guide our work on being culturally affirmative. Together, we share a strong commitment to genuine collaboration, and we truly value what diversity brings to our lives and to the communities that we're both part of. Lastly, you might notice that I sometimes tend to use tentative or cautious language, and that's intentional because what we are presenting is not the final word. It might not be true for all people, and I'm pretty sure things will continue to change over time. Our goal is to introduce these ideas and to fill in some of the gaps. But we don't assume that we can fill all the gaps. Some of that's up to you. Do some research, get out there, test these ideas, meet deaf and hard of hearing people and listen to them. And maybe we'll meet you along the way.